Hi Geminis, if you want to come on in, see your ink blot made in your name and essence. Feel free to take a screenshot so you can scry on your own time and terms for shapes or symbols that speak to your psyche and psychic senses. Geminis, thank you for holding space for me to share my insights. And I'm going to dig in here to empathically explore the Gemini aura. All right, I'm going to dig in here. Something feels like a flower. I'm going to shift my chubby bum in this chair. Something feels like a flower and it's getting ready to bloom. A very specific kind of flower, maybe like a daisy or something like that. It's like a daisy. And I'm seeing, is it Jack and the Beanstalk? Geminis, what are you up to? Jack and the Beanstalk. But I'm seeing like this creature climbing up the stem of this flower. I don't know if somebody wants your forgiveness or you are forgiving. Going to be in a, somebody wants your forgiveness and they'll be stepping forward to you, or vice versa. You'll be stepping forward to somebody else. It has the air of forgiveness about it. But to be honest with you, I don't feel like it's necessary. But it's almost like I don't know where else to start, so I'm going to start with I apologize type thing and open the gates of this conversation. I feel like it's a private conversation. I also feel like there's romance in the air. There's like two different things going on here, Geminis, and maybe what you're going for. Sorry if I'm all over the place, but it is what it is. Sorry, not sorry. I like to go where the eyes roll. I'm seeing like two people in a car making out. Whether it's actually somebody, like another somebody, or if the aspects of yourself are really coming together in this male-female kind of energy, and your twin. Oh, my nose, the top of my nose is being all wispy. Hi, how are you? Geminis. Because it's like a love-shaped car window. It's self-love, and it's like there's like a big fan or feather from spirit. It's like one of those ginormous, I don't know what time they were from, maybe like I Dream of Jeannie days or something along that lines. Like there are these big huge feathers. Yeah, that's the closest I can say. And they're like, yeah, that's what it feels like. So whether it's with somebody else or just within yourself for self-care and self-love, but somebody is approaching you slowly but surely, I will add as well. It's kind of like a snail. This is in that forgiveness land, because I feel like this is the whole beanstalk thing. It's already fleeting my mind. Sorry. It can be hard to remember my logical words when I'm in such a liminal landscape. Jack and the Beanstalk. It's slowly but surely. So something might have been made a lot bigger than it really, really was for you or for this other person. And I feel like it's really not that big, but it's become that big. Or maybe there's a lot of time that's passed, so now it feels awkward. And due to the awkwardness kind of coming forward to you or you to them with this apology, even just for the awkward amount of time. Or at least that's how it's feeling. It's supported by spirit as well. There's like I should share this with you. It's like I'm leaning back, like it's, so I'm seeing it like where they're climbing up. This is where I'm seeing the making out in the car and they're coming up. It's supported by spirit. There's a lot of light around it. I like it. It feels good. It looks like we have out here, like there's, you know, those burrs that stick to you, like when, I think mostly like my cats get it when they're outside, or the dogs when they were with us. Anyway, like burrs. I feel like burrs have been taken out of you, Gemini. I don't know if this is something you've been actively working towards or just something, you know, it's been sticking on you for some time. I feel like burrs are being released. Actually, and from that perspective, I'm also seeing something else, but give me two shakes of a lamb's tail here to let me, it's different scrying through here and through here. The lighting's different. It's beautiful, but it's just different. Okay. So you've dispelled burrs. That's how I'm feeling, Geminis. But I feel like somebody picked up your burrs. Like, is that a weird thing? And they're kind of like, And this isn't the person on the stem, and this isn't the person up here, the potential partner, or within oneself, the pairing of your twins. This is something that's quite outside of your aura. Like, it's not in your immediate tree of life or flower, your geometry kind of flower that I'm feeling. Because like petals are coming together, there's a blooming happening, and something feels a lot lighter. But these burrs are removed, perhaps part of the reason. Or like somebody also might have had like kidney stones coming through, and maybe they've passed. But I feel like I don't know, somebody might have picked up your burrs. It could be because they require that lesson or to learn that. But you might have made something look really, really easy. And I don't think it was, though, Geminis. I don't think it was. And if it's still like moving through, like I can see the burr being taken off, but then it still leaves, like it pulled the fabric, and there might be little pieces. Like it might not fully be done, and people don't see that nitpicking, to get all the little brushes out. And no, like you'll always know the fabric there is a little different because it's been pulled. Not to say focus on the, the nitty gritties of such, but that's like the maintenance sometimes people don't see because you've made something look really easy. Yeah. And also something about that game of Angry Birds. I feel like at some point in time, whether this is self-talk or in regards to somebody else, or in a contemplation of just being uncomfortable or something like that, there was a very burr-like word said. And I'm just going to go with that analogy because it feels right, but it almost feels like little viruses that were attached to words. But it felt like you were working through something. And maybe even the forgiveness or apology is for yourself, to be like, wow, I apologize for speaking to myself that way or being really hard on myself. Yeah. I'm seeing a floating car on a cloud, like a Care Bear car. Care Bear countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I see a Care Bear car. I have no clue what that means other than it's elevated like well up above the Jack and the Beanstalk. So if I imagine, right, and then you hit clouds, like that's up there. This is also where that love thing is. So again, love for oneself, your twin or whatever. Yeah, it's like, I just love it when I'm up here. I'm sorry. It's so sweet. It's so sweet. I feel like somebody might be a little worried that something from the past might creep back up. Now, whether this is like a depression or history of relationships happening, I don't know, something like that. There could be a little bit of a worry, and then I'm being brought back to the burrs of the burdens. You picked them off. Maybe you just need to clean up. Don't carry them to a new person, place, or thing, but keep an eye out to ensure you're not repeating cycles. But let it not be projected onto the other person immediately for past people, right? The Fool, yeah. New beginnings. Geminis. I love that I'm in like Care Bear Land and Jack and the Beanstalk. It's nice. With these little burrs of burdens. Shooing away little yappy trappies. That's what it feels like. Magician is coming through as well. The 6 of Swords. Some things have been happening very, very quickly, and others have taken that awkward amount of time. And I say awkward because that's how it makes me feel. But I don't actually know that it is, or if it's imagined. Can we tell me more about the 6 of Swords? Is there anything that could come through here for the Geminis? Page of Cups. Oh, maybe it was in regards to love if you didn't want to approach somebody. And see how like that love letter? It's like a message of forgiveness, of the slow and steady, somebody approaching you or you approaching somebody, that awkward amount of time. it doesn't have to be an apology. That's just how I'm receiving it. But it just feels like, I'm sorry so much time has passed. It could even just be that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry so much time has passed. I'm such an ass. Like, maybe that's what it's all about. I don't know, Geminis. But it feels, again, Care Bear countdown. Whether it's you stepping forward or vice versa, it feels like it'll be well received. Anyway, just earnesty, and not overplaying the Care Bear so much, maybe, if that's a thing. To, don't come in too cozy rosy, but be earnest about it. Because if it felt awkward for you, it could have been received differently, is how I'm hearing it. Anyway, moving on. I have flipped it to win it, so thank you for joining me. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and links are below to help it outgrow if you want your own Rorschach and a reading, and PayPal, and buy me a coffee. Okay, moving on. Fresh perspective, Geminis. I'm seeing two very, very tall trees. I'm also seeing, my goodness, I am just digging your ink. So these, first when I saw it, I see these two very tall trees. And of course, when I say two, it's an ink blot. So it could also be indicative of two parts of one. It's one tree, but there's two parts to it. And look at all these beautiful roots and spirit. Okay, great. But then at the same time, it's like it transformed on me quickly. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, that works. Yes. It's like I'm looking at a side view silhouette of the Grinch who stole Christmas. Okay, I'm not laughing because it's funny, but I'm just enjoying the symbology that's coming through. Gemini. It's just brilliant. It's brilliant for me. Okay, so these two Grinches have their backs to each other. Two trees, two Grinches. Of course, maybe something had happened during the Christmas season or the holiday season. But I'm actually kind of wandering back to the slow and steady Jack and the Beanstalk thing of maybe you and somebody did stop speaking, and that awkward amount of time has passed. Now, you both think each other are Grinches. Maybe this is also within yourself, right? The male and female aspects, like so beautifully laid out, Gemini, you're twins. Like, are they back to back? Like, we got each other. Who am I seeing that as? It's like they're back to back, but then they're doing like I don't know if it's like the Olsen twins or perfect strangers or something like that. Okay, but nonetheless, so in that aspect, it feels like we got each other's back. But then when I see the Grinches, it's like perception seeing each one as being a Grinch. And Geminis, you are the mirror. So if you perhaps are perceiving somebody to be like that, most likely you're a Gemini. You're the mirror. You're the mirror for them, and vice versa. So love letters, kindness. You might go about things differently. That's okay. Slow and steady. Okay, so I'm back at the trees. There's a pathway to this. There's a pathway opening up to these twin trees, if I may. The twin trees, and the roots are wonderfully intertwined, and they're round. They're not sharp. They're not spiky. It's almost like they've become self-sufficient. So I'm being asked to go to the Gemini auric energy of each of the twins, and it's making me feel like both of them, respects of oneself, are mature. I'm not sure what excuse me, the pronunciation is in different places, but they're working within themselves to grow. So when they're received as the one, they both have, I don't know why I'm all uncomfortable, Gemini, like, I don't know, but they're both very strong and mature. But if I'm also very honest, I also both see them so peaceful, like they're showing me these trees and, you know, the feminine and the male, or the introvert, the extrovert, the esoteric, exoteric, conscious, subconscious, whatever the case may be. Apply any mirror reflections we like here. So calming, this mature tree with these roots that are working within itself. 3 could be a number as well that you're working around. Keep an eye out for that. And then they also show me brass knuckles. So, you know, I guess, yeah. Strength. We'll take that as a strength. The Gemini's got strength. Okay, I'm going to start adding on some more tarot and oracle here for the Geminis. I'm quite loving this. I feel like suddenly I'm on a island. The show The Ozarks is coming through as well. Like some sort of community, or I think Ozarks are, I really only ever watched the show, so forgive me, I don't actually know geographically if it's correct through the show of what I can remember. But I feel like it might be a bunch of little islands that make up the Ozarks in general. And that's what this is making me feel like. I'm on an island with trees and greenery, so it's not tropical. But there's, I don't know how else to say that. It's just very green and very different landscapes, different islands. It's Ozarky feeling. I don't know. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm also seeing, I learned from Taurians with the white, sometimes if I lean back like a lowrider, I can see something different. I am seeing a young child that is in this island space, like Ozarky space, but they are very, very large in comparison, right? So I am seeing, so if this is the tree, different island space, like see how big this babe is. And they are like leaning down, like I'm looking in the water, or looking at this crevice, looking at this land, looking at these bugs. I don't know what they are, but this little girl or little boy is just crouched down so curiously looking at all these. I don't have my Scrying on. Oh shoot. I think it's being cleansed right now. We'll let that be. I'm seeing the face from American Dad. Is his name Stan? Okay. And roots and transformation just came through. That's all it's showing me. And family, maybe, is there like other families or something? I'm not really sure. There's a lot going on in this little island, but it's like I can see a lot of little caves or hiding spots. So I don't know if that has something to do of the Gemini child's play or childhood, something about the American dad. It's just his face that I'm seeing. 4th house roots, void of course, moon missing, and transformation. So if there's something in regards to childhood, maybe your roots in and around, like the Ozarks, like maybe you moved around to a lot of different places, or you stayed in the same place but moved different neighborhoods a lot, or something like that. I feel like it was important, even though at the time, like when this little boy or little girl is looking down curiously at how things are working, I'm almost seeing as though the young person is much bigger in spirit than the people, the adults. It's like the spirit of this child over soul was observing quite curiously. Almost as if like your presence, Gemini, maybe this will only land for a few. I'm not really sure. I've never gotten this message before. that you, if you were the child, if you're resonating with this, could be like a spirit guide incarnated for your family unit, or maybe for your dad. Like you're actually the spirit guide born. And Lou, you exchange roles that way because they're incarnate, but in the position of being your guide. I feel like I don't need to explain that if you're resonating with that. It could have felt like something was missing in your childhood because there was movement. I kind of felt like it needed to happen. But there is something, Gemini, about where you are now in your roots. Okay, we're going to go there. Fantastic. Sorry, I got really, really lost in that. And maybe that's how you felt. Like, just like daydream. That's how you got through. You daydreamed about things. You would hyper focus on things. The trees, the fairies, the sun, the moon, the clouds, the colors, whatever the case may be. And perhaps to cope. Ooh. But you're also in a state of observation. The returning and the magician, we don't ignore them if they come in upside down. You've had the magician twice, Geminis. So I kind of want to come back to just give you a holler about your two mature trees that, remember the male, female, this, that, or the other. In their own way, shape, or form, they're both in their magician space. They're both making magic. I'm just like seeing like, holla. I kind of want to say don't overshare. Don't overshare. Not everyone may be as enjoyable for your success as you want them to be. The returning. I feel like this might be in, if you are resonating with the story of the islands and Ozarks and trees and whatnot, whether you're actually returning as like a trip to come back as an adult, or just bigger, different perspective. And it's like you're going to go back to these childhood homes or these places you used to play, and you're going to be able to look at them and be like, oh my goodness, they were so small, like, but they were the biggest deal to me when I was young. And it almost like it could snap something into a perspective place to be like, oh my goodness. It feels actually very sweet because like a softness comes pouring over me, and just like her dress is falling off her shoulders, and it's like there's no weight being carried. I'm also seeing in the back of this card, again, I don't have my scrying, only my glasses, so I don't know if that's actually a unicorn or a Capricorn goat there. See if the camera will pick it up, like way back there. But that also, I feel like you've always had a spirit guide. Thank you. And that's brings me into Pluto transformation. There's a face in there. You might be a guide incarnate, but there's still another guide always with you through this. Yeah, you had lots of company. You had lots of company through this. And you're like, yeah, I'm good now. But I feel like there's a healing going on, Geminis. Like a truly a holistic healing. Interesting, as I just looked over. I'm going to get to you in a minute. Time to move, migration. So maybe you are thinking about moving. But I'm going to note that the way I'm sensing it in this time and space, it's about time to move or shift perspectives. Something about when you were young, moved homes, neighborhoods, apartments to houses to this others. Migrate your mindset. Okay. So I am like, it just caught my attention as I was ready to move on. So I'm way up here, and you see that, seeing a person, right? Pluto transformation, there's a face in there. You've always had a watcher. That's what I feel like, a watcher. A watcher. Could be from a different land or dimension or energetic something or other. But that's how I'm feeling it. I can see like when they float in, it's like on this little propellery thing. They kind of come in on a cuddly, I don't even know what it is. Kind of looks like a plush toy or something like that. Again, maybe it was an energy or entity you recognized from when you were a child, because something of a plush toy is coming through. I also want to know, Gemini, that when I was, oh my goodness, like there's so much going on, but I truly am going to let you go. Okay, it doesn't really come through quite as nicely. Okay, maybe that's, so I'm seeing this was the shape of like the young girl or boy gazing down at the head there. I don't think it's coming through on the camera, but this one is white with a black eye, and this one is white with a white eye. Geminis, you are just all up in your mindset, where you want to move things to, where shifting perspectives and perceptions, you're like, if you didn't, you're going back, at least how I'm perceiving it, through your maturity and also with your brass knuckles. Like, you know, you're ready to go and need be. Hopefully you're not beating yourself up about things in your past that you were too young to understand what was going on. And they were adult situations, and maybe you felt the repercussions of them, but literally your mind couldn't understand that. And by returning as an adult, even in the mindset, you can move it. You know what I'm saying? And if there's anything missing, I feel like the Geminis are filling that with where they are now, with their own roots, because there's all up magic in here. All up magic. Love letters. There's forgiveness. Maybe that's what that forgiveness is about. Something about your family history. Maybe it's a friend. I don't know what it is, but let us not forget, before I let you go, that there was two lovers making out in a car. Care Bear countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Until next time. Bye.